I'm Nick Hermanson. This is my wife, Katie. We live up in Story City, Iowa. We raise turkeys on a family farm. We have two kids, Gavin and Charlotte. They are at Grandma's right now, so we are able to show you guys around the farm. Our farm is made up of my dad and his brother and several of my cousins as well. And today we're on one of our turkey sites where we raise Big Tom turkeys. We start out with turkeys 1 day old on another site, and then we'll bring them here at about 5 weeks, and then we'll keep them here until they're 19 weeks and ready to go to market.
We have 4 buildings all like this, all together, and then these are the grain bins that we use to feed the turkeys.
Yeah, and these bins is where we store the feed when the feed comes to the truck on a big semi, and the semi can unload it into these bins, and it'll sit there ready for when the turkeys are ready to eat. And behind us, you'll see we're surrounded by a bunch of cornfields. We're kind of out in a remote location, which is good for raising livestock. We're actually a half mile off the closest road. We're out in the middle of the field, and it helps just keep us away from all the people and other livestock, just so we don't have to worry about as many disease issues. You'll notice our buildings have, on one side, there's a solid wall. We went through and put that in last year, and that's to help keep it warm in the wintertime. And then on the other side, we have a curtain that we can open if we need to when it gets warm. But what we're actually doing right now, you'll notice all these really big fans. We pull the air in from the far end of the building that we're not by. It's down on the other end. We'll pull fresh air in down there. It'll blow it across the building and pull it out with these big fans. There's enough fan power there that it'll be about an 8-mile-an-hour wind. So on a hot summer day when it's 95 degrees and high humidity, we can come in here and turn on all the fans and get about an 8-mile-an-hour breeze and really cool off the birds. And with all the fans going, it'll exchange the air in the building in less than 1 minute. So we always provide a nice, comfortable environment for the turkeys. You'll notice way off in the distance there's a loader driving around over there. That's where we actually store the manure after we clean the buildings out. We keep it under roof, so one, it doesn't absorb extra rainwater that we then have to haul to the field. And if the pile does rain and any rainwater running off would contain some nitrogen in it, that one, we want to spread the nitrogen on the field to use it as fertilizer and not have it run off into a stream, even though we're a long ways away from any streams. But so about 10 years ago, we went through and voluntarily built buildings over our manure piles just because we thought it was the right thing to do. So I think, like I said, the feed goes in the bin, and we got 2 bins so that we never run out. We'll always, when one bin is getting empty, the next bin, the feed mill will bring the feed and put it in there. And it comes out of the bottom into this white tube, and the insulation is on there actually to help keep it warm in the middle of the wintertime. Sometimes when the everything gets really cold, the feed will actually freeze up in there, and we got to come out and take it all apart to get it flowing again. That is probably the biggest job I dread in January. So corn and soybeans make up the biggest percentage of it. It's about half corn, 1/4 soybeans, and then there's a lot of other vitamins and minerals that go in with it just to balance the diet. We work with a full-time nutritionist that's all he does is look at turkeys across the country and adjust the formulas and the diets so that we're raising the turkeys. It's kind of a balance of the optimum growth while paying attention to the cost of the feed and making sure that we're not inhibiting the performance and the health of the turkey. We got to make sure the turkeys are healthy. That's why a lot of livestock's raised in Iowa, is because we have so much feed available. You take what's known as a bronze turkey. That's what you'd see when you see a wild turkey. If you were to take the feathers off, butcher it, and bake it in your oven and put it on your Thanksgiving table, there'd be a bunch of little black dots on it where the feathers were, because the feathers had color to them. And so over the years, they've actually bred white turkeys. I think it's been since about the 20s or 30s that for commercial production has been all white. So we're going to come right inside this little room here. This is what we call a washroom. It's kind of just the entryway to the building, and this is where all the electrical components are and all the controls. You see behind us, you got a couple breaker boxes. Everything we have here is on a standby automatic generator. So if we lose power for more than a second, the generator will kick in. And on this farm, we actually have 2 generators, so that if one generator fails, the other one will still continue to run, hopefully. In the wintertime, it's very critical that we keep the power on to keep the birds warm, and in the summertime, we need to keep the power on to keep the fans moving so that we can keep them cool. This box handles 100% of the functions in the building. If you zoom in really far, you can see that it shows the temperatures, and we set it up with a program to automatically turn on the fans when it gets warm enough, and the warmer it gets, the more fans turn on. And then when it gets cold outside, the heat automatically turns on. And then I talked about earlier, we have a curtain on the other end that opens up to let fresh air in. That is also all automatic, so that this controller sees all the environmental. It's just like your thermostat at home. It sees all the environmental aspects of the building, and it adjusts accordingly. If there's a problem, it will call us 24 hours a day to alert us as to, hey, there's something going on in this building. You need to come look at it. So that we can. Over on the other wall over here is the water system, where we have a filter, and then if we need to put any medication in the water lines, we can put that in there. Due to biosecurity concerns, we're going to put on these little blue suits and some clean boots so that we make sure that we don't take any outside diseases inside. Katie has a set of little thin plastic ones that she's going to put on over her boots, so that we'll have clean shoes going inside. If any of you guys are either teachers or you got kids that go to school, and one kid's sick goes to school, and what happens? Everybody gets sick. But we don't want to introduce any sort of outside diseases or anything that could get the turkeys sick. These turkeys are actually going to be 5 weeks old tomorrow. They just came into this thing 2 days ago on Tuesday, and so they're not very big yet. If anybody is in the building there wants to go over and look at the turkey display, there's 4 or 5 bigger turkeys there that actually came off one of our other farms, and those birds are I think 13 weeks old, so they would be quite a bit bigger than these. At this age, they're very curious as to what we're doing, so you can kind of see them all running down to us to check out what's going on. And you'll notice on the floor there's oat hulls. That is the remainder of the grain when they make oatmeal. They take the oat seed out, and that's what they make oatmeal out of. And then this is the kind of the sheath that covers the oat seed. And we buy these because they're very soft for the turkey to play in, and they absorb all the waste while they're in here. Once we empty the building out and send the turkeys to market, we'll come in here and completely clean out the building and put new bedding in for the next flock. We talked about as the turkeys grow. Right now it's still pretty small pieces. As the turkeys get bigger, they'll go to more of a pellet, and the feed will actually get bigger, or the pieces of feed will get bigger. You see that pipe just turned on, so that's going to fill up that bin here. And then down through this metal tube is an auger that runs down the whole length of the building, and it brings the feed down and drops it in each one of these individual pans. So, to the middle we got some water lines. There's each of these little red things has a water in there. It turns on and off automatically. See if I lift it up. Yeah, there's fresh water coming in, and so as the birds drink the water, that'll automatically refill. When this building was originally built, it was built with curtains on both sides and no fans. On a warm day like today, we would just open up the curtains and let the breeze blow through. But the problem with that theory is a lot of times when it's really, really, really hot and really humid in Iowa, the wind isn't blowing very much. On a nice spring day when it's hot and windy, it works well, but the really hot summer days when the wind doesn't blow, it's hard to make it blow. So that's why we went to this tunnel ventilation, they call it, where we got 15 fans on this end of the building. We're only running 3 right now because that's all the warmer it is. We don't have to have more than that on. And then we pull in all the fresh air from the other end of the building and blow it through. So then we get our turkeys at 1 day old, and we keep them in a separate building for the first 5 weeks where it's really warm in there. And these guys are right at 5 weeks tomorrow. We moved them 2 days ago, and They will be about 5 months when we send them to market. Our turkeys go to a grower-owned processing plant down in West Liberty, Iowa. It's owned by 50 farmers, including our family, and we raise a lot of turkey. None of it goes to a whole bird that you find in the grocery store that you take home and cook for Thanksgiving. It's all further processed into sliced lunch meat or other turkey products, and you can find those at Subway is a good place to find it. You can find it at a lot of grocery stores and Walmart, Sam's Club, Costco. When these turkeys are fully raised, they'll be 43, 44 pounds, and there's no way we could fit that in an oven. We pick up in a trailer. When we move them from the other farm, they come to the other farm on a big semi. All the turkeys will fit on one semi, and they come in little boxes, so they're all kind of separated so they can ride comfortably in that truck. And then from that other farm, we'll haul them here on pick up in a trailer. And then once it's time to haul them to market, we have a big machine that comes in with a conveyor belt on it, and we'll walk the turkeys down to the conveyor belt, and they'll ride up and be put in a cage on the truck going to market. And so they come in on one semi, and when they go to market, it's about 50 semis.